Exciting, isn't it?
Good evening. You are listening to the Reds Report, or indeed watching it on our new YouTube channel. In the studio, or rather in our living rooms and offices, Pete Selwood.
Hello. You all right?
Comedian, allegedly. Are you all right, Pete?
Well, until the new government sanctions came in, I was a comedian. Now I'm unemployed. To be honest.
And now you're a part-time chef. We've had to pull you away from the kitchen for
Yeah.
this episode.
Yeah.
Are you making out nice?
Carbonara brewing, mate.
Carbonara.
Brewing.
Also, we have the man, the myth, the legend, Keith Turner, a.k.a. Stretch. How are you, Stretch?
We're all good. We're all good, Chris. Yeah, all good.
Club photographer, absolute. You've been around Barnsley for some time. It's nice to have you on.
Cheers, Paul. Thank you very much.
What are you up to then? Because obviously you're not in the kitchen. Are you in the office at the minute?
Just in the office. Yeah, just in the office. Tea's all prepared. So yeah, we're on the Thai option tonight. So it's not up to carbonara standards, but it's still a pretty decent meal.
I prefer Thai over Italian any day. Have you? Is it beer o'clock yet, Pete? Have you had a beer, or have you been cooking?
Do you know what?
We've had a few. We've had a few brew dogs.
Good man. Not wrong with a brew dog. Love a good brew dog.
We've gone down the Hell's Lager as well. and also, just to get us in the mood, we've gone for the Malaysian red curry rice infusion.
I like the reduced sign on that, just letting you know.
Yeah, they're out date in February, yeah.
So they need eating. So.
Bargain.
So, Keith, are you on your third beer then? Is that what you're telling me?
No.
What about you? What about you, Pete? Have you been drinking?
It's not bad, Keith. Calm yourself down. No, I've not been drinking much, to be honest with you, mate. I'd say my house overlooks like a beer garden as well, so it's tempting. The landlord just keeps, because it's been nice sunshine, the landlord keeps coming out and like sitting in his beer garden like all on his own, like stretching out,
rubbing it in a little bit.
But he can. It's his house at the end of the day, isn't it? Like, it's just his house.
True.
That's it.
True.
Yeah, that's it. So, Keith, good to have you on the show. Few questions. When did you arrive at Barnsley? Obviously, you've lived in Barnsley all your life, that's right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, born and bred in Ellerslie. Yeah.
When did you arrive at Barnsley Football Club in a working capacity?
Well, sort of working, probably around about 2001.
Right.
I did a couple of years beforehand where it was just sort of helping out with the Chronicle, sort of playing my trade, really helping out. There wasn't really as much to do before the internet came on with regards to photos. There just wasn't it was just like match ball presentation, couple of mascot photos, and that were it. But I mean, nowadays it's just relentless, and the demands that we're asked to do for social media as such, it's just spiraling, and it's just getting more and more and more. But it's just how it is, isn't it?
So you've been a Barnsley fan all your life. There's never been anybody else, really.
No, not really. No. No.
So when did you start supporting Barnsley then? When did you? What was the first game you went to? How old do you think you were?
Do you know what, Chris? I can't remember. I was just a young lad. I used to go on paddock with my dad and my two older brothers. I couldn't tell you my first match. I have no idea, but I do know that my dad used to take a beer crate in with his own brew. I used to stand on that beer crate on a plank of wood,
right,
and lean against the barrier. And that was my viewpoint. And maybe a season down the line, I used to go with my mates and we used to go down to the barrier, down at the front, like everybody did. And then at half time, we used to go down towards the cop, whichever way we were shooting. But I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you my first match at all. Some people's got great memories, not me, I'm afraid.
So obviously been a Barnsley fan. What did you dream to work at Oakwell in some capacity? Did you want to be part of it?
To be honest, I mean, I've always played football all my life. I don't think I've been very good, but I love the sport. And I enjoy watching it, and I love photography. And when the chance came along, I thought, do you know what? I never knew what I wanted to do at school. Never. Most people never did.
No.
And when I left school, to be honest with you, I started on post. I still really didn't know what I wanted to do. I just like playing football, going out with lads, having a beer, just a normal Barnsley lad. And then this came along, and I thought, do you know what? This is it. This is what I want to do. And here I am. This is what I do.
So what is the allure of the job to you? What makes it so good for you? Obviously, a Barnsley lad. Is it close to pitch, close to players? Are you just feeling amongst it, feel part of the team?
No, I've never really been one for being close to players or close to anybody really as such. I'm quite creative, and I think that the photography side brings out my creativitiness in me. And I see things through my lens that I think, you know what, I need to capture that. And a lot of people might think, I'm not sure about that. But when I've captured it and I've shown it, some people's gone, do you know what, Stretch? That's bang on.
Yeah.
But it's just having that eye in seeing what you will think is a good picture and what's not a good picture. And I think that's what makes a photographer. And I'm not saying I'm good or bad. I just think that I capture things and people see them and I get some good comments and I think, well, I must be doing something right. It's just about capturing the moment, and it's about capturing somebody either just about to eat a pie at half time. It's daft little things like a mascot running up to Toby Tight with his hands up in the air, having the time of his life. I mean, my son's been a mascot twice. He's very fortunate. And my daughter's been a mascot once when I think she was about 5. I tell you what, being a mascot down at Orwell, what a fantastic experience. They love it. And to capture that, some of the smiles on the young kids' faces, it's actually better than photographing the match a lot of the time. It does give you a bit of a glow inside. You've made some memories for mums and dads and for the mascots. So with regards to like that side of the job, it's fantastic. I mean, the match side, sometimes, you know what Barnsley's like. We can win one, lose one, draw one. You never know who we're going to win. You never know who we're going to lose. You know, if somebody said we'd have gone down to Fulham and won 3-0, you'd have given them a clout, wouldn't you? You'd think they're on somewhere. But that's just Barnsley all over. You just never, ever know. You can never back against us because you never know what's going to happen with Barnsley. And I think that's joy being a football fan. And not just being a Barnsley fan. You can be a Yeovil fan or whoever. You just never know. On the day, you never know what's going to happen. And I think that's the lure of football. And I think that's what draws us in all the time. You just think, do you know what? It's a Tuesday night. It's 2 degrees. There's frost on car. I'm going down. I'm not that fussed. And you win 3-0. And you come away and you think, right, I'm going to mount for a couple of pints. I'm glowing. And then sometimes you go straight home. You get a bottle of whiskey out. And you think, we've lost 3-0 at home to Portmale. What a shower. I'm never going again. You see, season tickets come flying over the top. You think, oh dear lads, you're going to be regretting that. But that's just football, isn't it? We've all done it as fans, and now I'm working, so I've got to watch what I do.
Pete, Stretch mentioned drinking and stuff on the gantry. Is that something that we might see for you? Something that you want back?
I'd like it back, but I think the people I sit near are fine. But I don't sit in the Pontian with nutters, do I? So you know what I mean? I with what I class, the classy gentleman. No, the reason why you can't do it is, one, at Barnsley you can't get a drink anyway. It's the worst refreshment.
You are Stretch.
I don't think there's a worse.
Now you're being negative.
Right, I've no issue with it. But like where I go, there's bottles. It's a bottle of cider, a bottle of bitter, or a bottle of Carling lager, and it just takes so long. They haven't got a till, so you're not exactly helping them, are you? Have you been? You've been to the East Stand. It's ridiculous, isn't it? It's just one kid with a calculator and a bucket of change. It just takes ages. Terrible. No, man. I'd like to have a beer at match, but I think, again, like anything that big, there's a minority that just ruin it for the rest of us. And most people can sit there and quietly have a drink at the match and go, this is great. But there are some people who will just take advantage of that situation. You also got to remember, some people, that's all they do all weekend. Like the match Saturday, some people's Saturday at the Gunnet match starts at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I have 2 or 3 pints at 1 o'clock. Then I go to the match, might have one afterwards. Then I go home. But some people, it is their entire night, and they're in opium till 3 in the morning.
Is that you, Stretch?
That's joking. Christ.
I mean, obviously, Keith, you've seen football through more centuries than myself and Pete. I'm not saying you're old or anything, but you've seen it develop quite a lot in your time.
Yeah. Well, regards to drinking, I mean, I can only tell you what happened with me sort of through 80s and 90s growing up, supporting, watching Reg. We used to go in town before, and we used to go in Panama Joe's, number 7, South Yorkshireman. It was like a bit of a route they used to go, and you were on the Stella, 4 or 5 pints of that. And to be honest, I can't really remember much about match after you've been on Stella. You spend most at first half going to the toilet.
I mean, was that a bad thing in them days, Pete? Keith, considering how bad we were.
I don't know. I think it's just part of growing up, innit? And I think when you've had a beer inside you, I think you loosen up. I do. I think you loosen up. I think you're more inclined to shout, scream, bawl. I don't think your brain engages a lot of the time. I think I hear some comments made coming out of some people's mouths, and I think, do you know what? You've had a bad day at work, mate, this week. You're rattling on about no to yard here. We're winning 2-0 at home, and you're moaning because we've not made a complete inch perfect pass. And some people do that, and I know lads. I've got mates who are good to grab. They change personality completely. It's unreal. Yeah, but it's funny. It's funny.
Keith, you mentioned your photographs and stuff and how much they're inspiring and stuff like that. Is there a particular one that stands out where you think that is my best photograph, Barnsley related, where you just think that is the one?
I've got to be honest with you, Chris. I ain't really got one photo that I can turn around and say, you know what, that is the one. I have had photos like that.
Yeah.
I've took photos and I thought, do you know what? That's the one. And then 6 months later, I took another photo and I thought, that's the one. And it sort of moves on. I mean, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you how many photos that I've got that I've took, and I think, do you know what? I am 100% happy with that, because a lot of photographers will tell you they'll always find one single bit of flaw in the photo. The background could be a little bit more full with fans. It could be a little bit more sunnier. People will nitpick about all sorts, but I'm not really one for that, to be honest. There is a couple of photos that spring to mind. I did get a chance to take a photo on Rimmo just before his 90th.
Right.
I set the studio lights up down in the changing room. Barry Murphy came along, and it was a picture that I'd always wanted to do at Rimmo, actually, because Well, I think everybody knows you were a character.
Yeah.
And I wanted to take it in black and white. And I did take it. And I think everybody's seen it. It's the one with he's got his glasses on and he's got his glasses off. It's well publicised. And to get that, to get his smile, because he won't often he did that smile. To get that smile coming out of him, it took a bit of work. And I think Barry Murphy's got to hold his hands up here and said, you know what, he helped me out here. Because he was talking to him while I was taking the photo. Glasses on, glasses off, arms folded, arms unfolded, sit back, stand up. And then he started taking the pee out me, did Rimmo. You know,
right.
Bloody hell, lad, how many photos I'm going to take on me? And I must have took about 20 or 30 photos, and I got one. And I looked on my laptop and I thought, do you know what? That is the one.
Yeah.
So I think when it comes to taking portrait shots, I think that one is probably the one that I'm really proud on, actually. But when it comes to action shots, crikey, I mean, take your pick, really. I mean, Adam Hamill's goal at Wembley, for me, I just seemed to be in the right place at the right time. Just in between the two defenders that he shot, and I got the picture. That
don't happen on accident, though, Stretch. That does it? That don't happen on accident.
Suppose not, Chris. Suppose not. I mean, Winnall's goal and his emotion when we beat Walsall at home in the playoff. I mean, that was unreal. That was brilliant. I mean, Hamill's goal again when we beat Oxford. Numerous celebration photos with Conor Urrain scoring against Forest, against Leeds.
Yeah, that volley against Forest, goodness me.
Unreal. And then rolling back the years, we're like, took some cracking shots with Chris O'Grady, a couple of great goals and great celebrations. I mean, we could go on and on and on, but no, I ain't really got one action photo, Chris, to be honest with you. I can turn around and say, hand on heart, that is the one.
Yeah. You mentioned goals, Keith. Camera,
sorry,
go on, Chris. What was that?
No, I suppose when I hang up my camera and I'll turn around and I'll think, do you know what? Yeah, that is the best one. But just at this minute in time while I'm working, I can't really put my finger on one.
But that's just it, though, isn't it? That's what's going to keep you hungry and keep you travelling all them thousands of miles up and down M1, all these grounds you end up going to, all these getting back at 2 in the morning because of traffic jams and falling asleep in back at car, and they're the reasons you do it, innit? And I guess as soon as you lose that love, you'd stop doing that. So I think to try and keep beating yourself. Pete, you're a creative type. Are you ever happy with a joke where you think that's the one, or is it just the case of trying to top yourself?
No, mate. It's the same as I imagine when you take photos. Like you'll look at something and people will go, "That's amazing," but if you're gigging, you'll have like the best. Everyone will be like rolling on the floor laughing. You'll have the best gig of your life. Like say there's like 1,000 people in there. You will spot the person who's not enjoying it. And that's all you'll think about for the rest of the night. Everyone loved it. Yeah, but that woman, she did not like it at all. One time I did that, and everyone was loving it, obviously, because I'm mint. And then the one person who wasn't enjoying it was my mate's missus. So for 20 minutes, I was just looking through going like, Laura, you miserable sod. This is hilarious. Like, you can always spot who's not enjoying it. You don't get to enjoy it as much as you'd think.
Keith, you mentioned being part of celebrations and capturing them. At any point, have you been in danger of you being knocked over, or your camera been knocked over, or been far too in the middle of it all? So maybe like a McDonald's celebration, possibly against Wednesdays, or something like that, where you've just thought, actually, I'm a bit closer.
Chris, there's been tons of time. I've been trampled on, knocked out by fans, laptops been crushed, everything. I don't know where to start. Jacob Brown tumbled on me when we were at Walsall last season when he scored that last minute.
Did he?
He tumbled on me. Monopod just twisted in two. And then all fans were laid on me. Steward were trying to drag me out. I've got a £10,000 camera lens in me hand. I'm thinking, well, just somebody get off me. But there's been times in front of Pontian when lads has jumped over my shoulder. Angus McDonald, I think he were against Wednesday and he scored equaliser. Did he?
Yeah, right at end, yeah.
Right at end there, wasn't it? he come running straight over to me. Then he leapfrog over me.
That was the one that made me think of that question. Actually, I think I see you in that celebration.
Yeah. There's been a few. I've had a few near misses with ball, where that's come flying at me, and you put your hand up and you knock it away. So there's been a few near misses and a few misses.
Yeah. So you've been at Barnsley now since what? 2001? Did you say you started?
Yeah. But I started taking photos in '99.
Right.
But sort of in official capacity then sort of since 2001 really. Yeah.
So you've been there like 19 years. So have you got another 19 in you? Do you think?
Definitely. Yeah. I love it. It's great. The lads that we go with, I mean, you know them. They're a great set of lads, all media lads. It's great. We have some great days out. I mean, we have some long journeys, like you've just nailed that. We come back from, I think, Portsmouth this season. We sat on a motorway for 2 hours. You know, we're behind a really bad crash, and you're not getting home while late, and it can be tiring. I must admit, it can be tiring. But I don't know about 19 years, but I've definitely got another 10 in me, Chris. Definitely.
You mentioned the lads. We've had Clarkey on the show last week. We had him on for 25 minutes talking to us. We've got Whitey on and stuff next week. They are a good set of lads, and I think what I really enjoy about that group is they are Barnsley through and through. Like they're not there for the money. They're not just doing our job, just like yourself. It means a lot to you, doesn't it? And I mean that's just a nice working environment, and you're there because you just love Barnsley, really.
I think we watch each other's back as well. I mean, you've got to be Whitey because he's a loose cannon, as you know. But yeah, we do. We watch each other's backs, and sometimes you go to some grounds and it can be a hostile environment. It's not, you can be sat in front of their fans and you're getting some dogs abuse.
Yes.
So you've got to pull together, and we do. We always have done at Barnsley. We've always stuck together. We've a tight knit of lads, tight bunch of lads, and like you say, we're Barnsley fans.
Yeah.
So we've got Barnsley's interest at heart. So I'd like to think that comes across actually.
It does. I think it does. When I'm in amongst it, you can just feel it. I never feel out of place. You just feel like we're all there for a reason, and we all belong there, because we just love Barnes. Don't we? Pete, have you got anything for Keith that you want to pick his brains on?
Who's the most annoying player to photograph if you've ever had to do it?
Most annoying.
Nicest and most vain.
Say that again, sorry, Pete.
Most vain.
Most vain.
Vain, yeah.
Who likes to pose? Who enjoys posing, past and present?
I mean, Sam Winall were great for me, and he were great for cameras. He knew where I were all the time. That's probably because I used to tell him. But it were great. I mean, I know he got slated because he went to Wednesday, and yet it was a shame. But I mean, if some of his celebrations were fantastic, some of his goals were fantastic. You can't take that away. But I mean, a lot of the lads now that's at the club, I mean, Corley's great. He's a great guy. Just have a natter with, and his goals and his celebration. He knows where I am all the time. Connor Chaplin's same. They know where I am. Brownie's done some brilliant celebrations this year. In fact, to be honest with you, Brownie's probably topped them all.
Really?
That one away at Fulham, and he stood near me. And he got his goal and celebration. I thought, do you know what? Wow, we've just kept an absolutely cracking day here, pal.
Yeah.
So I think this current squad are probably the most photogenic. Probably because they're wanting the pictures on Twitter straight away.
Yeah.
Apart from that, they're a great bunch. I don't know whether it's an age thing because they're a set of young lads. I mean, roll back sort of 3 or 4 years when we got Connor and Mark Roberts and all them lads. They were brilliant. I ain't got a bad word to say against them there. And then you're rolling back the years again when we've got Brian Howard and we've got Eki and Anthony Kay. Yet again, some great goals, great celebrations. They knew where I was. I like to think I captured the moment at the same time. And good set of lads. I won't really like to say anybody that I don't really get on with down. There has been a few players down there that's puddings, and I'm not really keen, but I'm not going to have a on
here. Keith, you mentioned a few of your big games there. If you had to pick one, just for work, probably for photography alone, or just for being part of that atmosphere and being next to the pitch. Obviously, you've been to Wembley twice. You've been Millennium Stadium. What sits with you? Is it that Walsall game at home? I mean, there's been a lot, hasn't there, really?
Yeah, it is. It is, Chris. It is.
The Walsall game.
Yeah, the Walsall game at home. I think the Walsall game at home, we just knew after that third goal went in, the thought that we were going to Wembley again was just, and you could feel it. You could feel it around the stadium. And
yeah, I felt that night when I was sitting there. I never felt like Barnsley as a town what had ever been in that much like harmony. Like we were all, it just felt like it was just a mutiny. We're all in it together. It felt like an absolute juggernaut, and it didn't feel like anybody were going to stop us. You know?
No, you didn't feel like you were going to lose the final at any point. It was like
we knew
such a good run at the time. You're like, we get to the final, winning it, and it was comfortable. Yeah. It was comfortable final, surprisingly.
Yeah.
But and there was 2-1 for a bit. In that 2-1, you were like, we're in charge of this.
Yeah,
I agree, definitely.
So it's that Walsall game then where you just fought the town all together and the atmosphere were electric.
I think it was because my wife and kids were at East Stand, my sister were at East Stand, my brother were at East Stand, and all my mates were there as well. And I think at full time we come down with a bit of a natter, and I've got an hour's work to do, send the pictures off. And I knew as soon as I'd done my gear at home, I was going straight to number 7 with lads, and we were getting leathered. And we did. We got absolutely wellied, and it were a cracking day. It were a cracking day, and it were a cracking night. And we knew we were going to Wembley. And do you know what? I mean, you've just both hit nail on your head. We were playing Millwall. We knew we'd won before we got there.
Yeah.
I mean, the game itself it were a great game. Don't get me wrong. But I must admit, I do like winning at home. I prefer it at home. I just think that closeness. We're at home. We're all together. We don't disband into like a 4-hour journey up M6 or M1. We're disbanding to go into Boozer at home, don't we? You know, whether it's Tommy Treadwell right corner from me, or it's number 7, or if it's Mount, wherever it is, there's a closeness about it. And I'm not one for winning. Don't get me wrong, I like winning away at Fulham and at Wembley and some massive grounds. But as soon as it's finished, you've got a journey to get home. But I prefer it being at home. I prefer being at home and enjoying it more at home. And to be honest with you, when we're winning at home, I think it's a great atmosphere.
Yeah, something quite romantic about it, isn't there, really?
I think you're right, Chris. Yeah, I think you're right.
So, Stretch, obviously we're not calling you Keith, we're calling you Stretch. Where on earth has that come from? I've always wondered.
Well, back in, what are we on now? 89. May 89, I started work at post office as a postie. Everybody knows I still work there now, part-time. And when you're 17, 18 year old and you know, any job, any apprenticeship, you start wherever you are, you get given a nickname. And I got given a nickname because I was 6'5.5", and somebody said Stretch, and you know what? I don't know what it was, but it just stuck. But it don't bother me. Yeah, I've been called worse, a lot worse. So yeah, I've no problem. I don't mind being called Stretch. In fact, the in-laws call me Stretch. I don't think they've ever called me Keith, to be honest with you.
Pete, have you got anything else for Keith before we say goodbye?
I can't really think of anything, mate. I'm just keeping an eye on my food over there, like just.
All right, we'll get going, mate. So you can enjoy your pasta. One more thing, Keith. We've been asking people to get rid of something from football, so we get to put it in room 102, and it's gone forever. It never exists ever again. So far, we've got referees, wind, and what was John Parkin's, Pete?
Having to run 30 yards.
So I mean, if there's something that you could get rid of from football, it'd have to be a physical thing, Keith, but you can get rid of it now and it's gone forever. What would that be?
Well, it's a tricky one, this one, but I'm a big fan of safe standing, and I think we should have safe standing at Barnsley. I think we should have it in. I think we should have it to the West Stand. I think.
Right. Okay.
As a club or as a league, I think we need to push on. I think we need to give people the option of whether they want to sit on the bums or whether they want to stand against the barrier and do it that way.
Yeah.
I'm not saying get rid of seating, because a lot of people love sitting down.
Yeah.
Me personally, if I was a fan, I'd love to stand. I'd love to stand against the barrier.
Yeah.
I mean, my legs are that long, I don't fit in a normal seat anyway. And there's a lot of big lads out there, and I see them. You guys will probably see them as well. They're cramped into them seats.
The struggle with seats, struggle with them sometimes. There's not much leg room. It's not comfortable. And I think you lose a lot of atmosphere, don't you, really, sat down?
Yeah, I mean, you can do, but I just think we ought to bring that safe standing in now. I think we, not just at Orwell, I think in grounds around the country. I mean, I think Man United is doing it now in the corners, aren't they?
Yeah, they're trying it, yeah.
I think we need to do it in West Ham, to be honest with you, and we need to bring it in. So whether or not the West Ham seating needs to go in the room 101.
Yeah.
That's
Pete,
a big
what do you reckon? What do you reckon, Pete?
I reckon there's a lot of old boys who aren't going to like that.
Well, I'm happy to get rid of it, Pete, if you are.
I like wooden seats, mate. There's something about the wooden seats. I know a lot of people hate them, but I'm just nostalgic for it.
What about if we were to get rid of the ban on the ban?
Oh yeah, I'm fine with that.
Of seating.
I think all I'm saying is, I think the lower tier of the West Ham, not the upper tier. I've got some friends who sit in the upper tier in the wooden seats, and it's fine. I mean, there's a big draft that comes around the corner when you sat in the lower tier, but in the upper tier, I think that protects you. But I think in the lower tier of the West Stand, I think safe standing, bring it in. Definitely.
You end up with a lot standing in West Stand anyway, don't you? End up on a lot on that bit of corner.
Yeah, a lot
that's on corner and stuff like that. So I'm weird on that one, Keith. We'll try and work on that one for you.
I'll have a word with Dane.
Good man, yeah. You have a word. Thank you very much for coming on, Keith. We really appreciate it. We hope you come back very soon. Hopefully next time it won't be such a ball ache for you. Pete, thank you very much for joining us.
No worries, man.
Nice to meet you, Pete.
Right,
nice
I will post the podcast out very shortly. All right, you two. Have a nice evening.
Cheers, Chris. Take care.
See you soon.
Cheers.
Bye. Bye.